40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
One final time on turn 200. It's all to play for this evening. A champion driver will be crowned, and more than likely, they will be a two-time series champion. It's all up for grabs here this evening for the Enduro, the We Are Gemini Grand Prix of Japan, to close out the evening here and close out season number 3 of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series here on turn 200. Welcome in, folks. My name is Tommy Cook. I've got this one all by myself for the time being. Anyway, here at Suzuka International Raceway, home of the Japanese Grand Prix in Formula 1. 3.6 miles, 17 turns, and it will play host to a second series championship race here in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series after it closed out season number 1 of competition a couple of years ago. In season number 1, it was Joao Gregorio who walked away with the championship. Entering tonight, he is the he is the points leader, leading the championship standings by only 23 markers. However, drop races are in effect coming into tonight. Very basically, you see the points total there, 368 for Joao Gregorio. Worst case scenario, he will be leaving here with 399 points on the board, no less than that by our calculations. What that means is that Titus Sherlock needs to finish in second place by our calculations again. In second place here this evening to have a mathematical path to the championship, and Joao Gregorio needs to have himself a bad night for Titus to have a crack at it here. And there are plenty of opportunities for things to go wrong here at this very big circuit, Suzuka International Raceway. 17 turns, lots of very fast turns, but it's the slow ones that will reach out and grab you. as we will head out to the track now and join our drivers on qualifying ahead of a 55-minute Enduro race here, the final on-track action for the GoSquadra Formula Super Series here on Turn 200. This is our last season of coverage of the Formula Super Series. It has been an absolute honor and pleasure the last 3 seasons to bring you stellar racing with some of the best race drivers in and out of the sim here on Turn 200. Here's a look at the leaderboard. The Formula Racing Series will have a lot of good stuff coming up. I'm sure Formula Indy Series is right around the corner. That'll be over on P1 Broadcasting. Be sure before you check out of YouTube here this evening to go over and give them a subscribe if you have not already, as they will carry on Formula Racing Series and Formula Indy Series broadcasting as we step away from our full-time broadcasting duties here on Turn 200 at the end of the calendar year. Thiago Spencer had the pole, but now it's Joao de Gregorio who will take the top spot away. Thiago Spencer won the sprint race here last year, or rather in season number 1. I guess that was technically last year. The feature race went to Byron Daly, who was the last driver to check into the session here this season, or this evening rather. Kostik Solovier has just jumped to the top of the board. Only driver on a qualifying lap right now is Tommy Reval. On the right side of the graphic, Cody Claiborne is very much in control. You may have snuck a peek at it just a moment ago for the 40 race where top AM standings. He is very much in control. It's going to take quite the Herculean effort here this evening for Kyle Allen to be able to overtake Cody Claiborne, and Claiborne is going to have to basically finish plumb last in this race here this evening. Allen will basically have to be on for the overall podium. It's going to be tough sledding in a field like this. There's only 22 drivers. Actually, make it 21 in the session here this evening. But it's all the fast guys. Ethan Stanley will get another crack at redemption after last week, spinning from the lead in his first Formula Super Series race. Titus Sherlock down in 11th right now, as his qualifying effort is complete. Tanner DeFabis just jumped up to 5th, so that is it's certainly going to be a little bit further down on the timing charts than he was hoping for. Titus Sherlock there outside of the top 10. No invert here this evening, of course, with no sprint race. It's an Enduro. 55 minutes will be up on the board here in 1 minute's time. If you're hanging out with us here this evening for the final Formula Super Series race here on the channel, drop us a chat. Let us know. Tell us maybe your favorite GoSquadra Formula Super Series memory here from our time covering the series. So we ride in with the boss man himself, Zach Flaum. Flaum will be coming to the line to complete his lap through the KCO triangle. He goes, and the last curve. Flaum 15th right now, 138.55. And across the line, I think that will be the lap. It will stay 15th, however. And last but not least, back to Tommy Reval with 10 seconds left. I don't think Tommy is going to get back around in time to actually put this lap up on the board, as the clocks are about to strike 0, so it'll be Reval back in 18th with Sebastian Gianni, Peter Donchek, and Byron Daly not setting a lap time. It is time to go for the final race of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series here on Turn 200. And it is the We Are Gemini Grand Prix of Japan this evening from Suzuka International Raceway. This is how they will come to the green for 55 minutes of racing here this evening. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We have the warm-up period. We can't do the starting grid yet. Oh, well, that's embarrassing. Okay, well, pretend like that didn't happen. We didn't just hype that all up for nothing. And hey, why don't we look at the track conditions here? Because everybody's on the dry tire, but it would seem to be wet out on this circuit right now, and everybody's figuring that out slowly but surely. Yeah, that is the dry tire, and everybody is going around. Did anybody come out on the wets? That's my question. It does not look like it. Let's pop this back up. It's the big intrusive graphic, but it has our rain information. 48% chance of rain, although the track surface is wet. And 9 degrees of difference in the track temperature to the ambient temperature in the negative, which you don't see unless it's raining or very cold. This is Michael Costello we're riding with. Quite a bit of spray being kicked up there. Some drivers are faring a little bit better than others here on this wet surface. If they can get a dry line formed and if it can not rain, we might be okay. There's Ethan Stanley. Lock it up. On the wet tire. See, most people that spun coming off of pit road or on their out lap came in and put the wets on. It's only really the Eclipse drivers that are on the dry tire, that green sidewall tire there. Still required to make a pit stop in the wet conditions as well. You obviously, if conditions don't allow for it, do not have to take the alternate compound, as Titus will lock it up and lock it down as well. Got about 30 seconds left to go here in the warm-up period before we get after it for realsies this time for 55 minutes. No other invented preliminary sessions before we get going. Appreciate the patience through the forgetfulness of the false start there. As Ethan Stanley, the only driver to post a lap time, and it's a 2-second lap. Or 2-second, good Lord. 2-minute, 2-second lap. Quite a bit off the pace that we had in qualifying. But it is time to roll, for real this time. One final time in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series, the We Are Gemini Grand Prix of Japan is about to hit the track here in the now sunny Mie Prefecture in Suzuka. Here is the starting lineup. Kostek Soloviev and the current championship leader, the Season 1 champion, Joao Gregorio on the outside pole. Thiago Spencer and Kevin Bonomi on row number 2. Tanner DeFavis and Ethan Stanley on row 3. Row 4 is Michael Costello and Nate Siefker. And the top 10 rounded out by Tristan Moss and Jeff Groff. Titus Sherlock needs a lot to go right here tonight, and he'll start on the inside of row number 6 with Jeremy Carter to his outside. Cody Claiborne, top AM on the starting grid, and the current AM points leader starting in 13th with Christian Jasper to his outside. Zach Flam and Dakota DeMade on row number 8. Kyle Allen, Tommy Revolve on row 9. Byron Daly, Sebastian Gianni, and Peter Donchak, the 21 drivers who will look to get after it here this evening. A quick look, if we can get it, at some of these drivers and what tires they're going to like to start on. We see the wet tire for a few. That is Ethan Stanley inside the top 10. Thiago Spencer on the wet tire. And Kostek Soloviev on the wet tire as well. Wets all the way around as we are racing. One final time in the GoSquadra from the Super Series here at Suzuka. Into turn at number 1 we go. The first corner, as that's already problems for Tanner DeFabis and Tristan Moss as they go barreling into the outside retaining wall, and that is Tanner DeFabis rolling without the rear wing on that car. He will definitely have to make a pit stop here as Thiago Spencer leads at the front of the field. Pit lane start for Joao Gregorio may have kept him out of some trouble as DeFabis is now off, with no downforce on the back of that car whatsoever. That is not a surprise. Meanwhile, battling for third, Kevin Bonomi, Ethan Stanley. Stanley drops back after a challenge there. Top AM battle. Cody Claiborne going backwards here, as I think he's on those green sidewall tires. Yeah, he's tried it on the slicks, and it has cost him at the start of this race. Might be in a better position if the dry line can get formed here relatively quickly. And look at this. Titus Sherlock from 11th up to 4th on the opening lap, but Joao Gregorio is running in the 10th position after starting on the pits. A couple of drivers dropping back. Nate Siefker is one of them on the slick tire. And around 130R. That has got to be a little nerve-wracking to say the least now into the Casio triangle, as that is Ethan Stanley that is running through the triangle there. He'll have to give some time back, and he will be coming to pit road. Opening lap led by Thiago Spencer, but here is Kostek Soloviev trying to get after it into turn number 1, looking for the race lead as they head to the Snake. Seeing these drivers slip it and slide it. Titus Sherlock running in 4th. Joao Gregorio running in 9th. As Tanner DeFabis has limped his car to pit road. Whoa, multiple drivers off the track there, including Nate Siefker. Cody Claiborne wide there as well through Degner. Under the bridge they go. Oh, as that was Peter Donchak, I think in the back of the shot that was airborne. Just caught that out of the corner of my eye. Let's take a look at that. Oh, that was not an airborne crash, but either way, not sure what I saw. We're back to the battle for the lead. As here's Soloviev going for it into the triangle. This is a tough place to make a pass stick. But maybe Kostek just trying to set him up for a move into the first corner. Wheel to wheel they go, still kicking the spray up. Kostek can't make it stick. And again, he'll have to ride through the Snake. Here's Costello and De Gregorio for 7th. Costello hanging on to the spot. De Gregorio slotting back in P8. And again, the way that the drops work, Joao De Gregorio's second worst race this season netted him 31 points. So no matter what, he's walking down here with 399 points. And that is if he goes back in time and ensures that Tristan Moss doesn't finish last in this race and takes that spot for himself. Titus Sherlock, to match that, would have to finish in second. But again, Joao is outscoring that number right now with where he is in 8th. So, again, nothing's official until the points tabulations are complete after the race. But as of now, we do not think that Joao De Gregorio is in any sort of danger with the way things are going. But this lead is still very much in danger for Thiago Spencer, who's looking for some redemption after Interlagos last week. What a rough way to go. Fantastic speed. Went from 26th to 7th on the opening lap of the feature. And was fighting for the win. Got wiped out. Suave is really wanting to take this lead. We'll swing out again to the left side, head to the first turn. Got a nose out ahead into the corner, but just cannot make this pass stick. As the first 5 minutes of this race are complete, about to be 6 minutes off the board here. We're back to Costello and De Gregorio. As De Gregorio trying to do the same thing, but Costello overdriving just a little bit. Door was open. But could drive off of that banked corner will allow Costello to hang on to P7 for now. Gaps being pretty well maintained through the top 10 except for De Gregorio, Costello, and Spencer and Sawovier. And Nate Siefker knocking on the door of Kyle Allen here as they head through Degner once more. Cody Claiborne still leading the AM standings right now. Kyle Allen is going to have to put in quite the race here to have a shot. We've got 4 drivers right now in the pits that seemingly at least are taking some lengthy repairs, if not are outright retired from this race. As Michael Costello went wide there in Spoon Curve. If there's one place you're going to go wide here, that might be the one you can get away with it at. It's such a weird double apex left-hand turn. As Costello is catching up to Christian Jasper here. But again, we'll jump up to the battle for the lead now, as it is again Sawovier drag racing Thiago Spencer into the first turn as they go wheel to wheel once again. Spencer with that positioning there on the inside. Sawovier, I think, just too far alongside to try and make the crossover work there in turns 1 and 2. And in the meantime, Costello and De Gregorio both have gotten through on Christian Jasper. Jasper now with wing mirrors full of Nate Siefker. And Siefker, remember, still on the slick tire. I think when this track dries out here momentarily, Siefker and Cody Claiborne are going to be in a great spot to pick up a bunch of track position, because to my knowledge, they are the only drivers on the slick tire. Running down the leaderboard here, they are the only 2 drivers that are on the wet tire, or the dry tire, rather. And Siefker just put in the purple lap last time around. Siefker picks off Christian Jasper. This track continues to improve. Yeah, looking at the best lap times, Siefker is almost a second faster than anybody else in the personal best laps. Seifker going to get through on Di Gregorio and Michael Costello. Seifker up to 6th. Oh, I love a strategy race, and we're going to get one for the road here on turn 200 with the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. When is the crossover too big to ignore for the track conditions here? As Seifker pipes in a 1:46.97. 2 seconds quicker than the next fastest driver, which was your race leader last time around. Seifker is flying. A couple laps of pain, and now a bunch of laps of gain. As here is Seifker. He is going to make quick work of Jeff Groff, podium finisher last week. Seifker into the top 5. Some off tracks being recorded for Costello and Kyle Allen. Allen now back to 12th. As Cody Claiborne now is into the top 10 on those slick tires. Let's jump back up to the battle for the lead. Sawovier is caught back up to Thiago Spencer here in Spoon Curve. Really impressive foresight here by Seifker, or at least a big gamble that is paying off thus far. So again, here's Sawovier looking out to the left side into the triangle. Seifker now going to look to the left of Titus Sherlock, who is really squeezing him there through the final curve. We jump back up to the lead. Whoa! Sawovier is wide. We have hit the crossover point. Nate Seifker was 6 seconds faster than the race leader last time by a 1:43. Too much to ignore. What will the leaders do about it? Seifker being held up by Kevin Bonomi here, and now we'll get through. Seifker is rocking and rolling. He's charged all the way up to 3rd. These are the leaders right here. He's got him inside of a second. Now, Seifker will still have to make a pit stop, I do believe. Even though we started on the slicks. Zach Flaum has just gotten through on João Di Gregorio. Seifker on the overtake, and here he goes. Through on Sawovier. We'll be lining up a move into 130R on Thiago Spencer and into the KCO triangle. Whoa! Spencer runs him right to the runoff out of 130R. Seifker exhibiting patience, knowing he is the man to beat right now. The leaders stay out. Seifker going to be forced to take the long way around here as he makes a little contact with Spencer. And it's Seifker to the lead. Cody Claiborne, meanwhile, up to 4th, and he has just clocked the purple lap, a 1:42.51. That is 6.2 seconds quicker than what Thiago Spencer just ran last time around. 6.2 seconds. This track has ramped up massively, and nobody has an answer as Nate Seifker already out to a 3.5 second lead. He just made this pass. Claiborne is through on Sawovier. And now we'll look to get through on Thiago Spencer. Claiborne up to second. Zach Flaum, who pit after the first lap, slapped on the dry tires. And that explains his charge up through the field, up to 7th. Joao de Gregorio now has slid back to 10th, still trailing Michael Costello by about 3/4 of a second. As we await to see if anybody's coming down pit road this time. Spencer and Sauvier both bypassing. Kevin Bonomi, Titus Sherlock, all going through as well. Zach Flaum, of course, on the tire he wants to be on. As that was a big slip up there from the looks of it from Michael Costello. No pits for Costello, De Gregorio, or Christian Jasper. Will De Gregorio have an opportunity to overtake here? Looking to slip underneath, but Costello shuts the door on that one. Here is Titus Sherlock and Zach Flaum. And Flaum is through on Sherlock on the dries. Nate Siefker in clean air turned a 1:40.66. That is a monster lap. Making up time hand over fist. As Flaum is up to 5th, you'll have Sauvier and Spencer up next. As here is De Gregorio. Looks like a mistake maybe from Costello, but he'll have the preferred positioning here in the right-hander 200R. Costello going to send it through into Spoon and maintain his position. Side by side, Spencer and Sauvier with Zach Flaum out to the right. He'll pick off Kostick. And now we'll have a go here on Thiago Spencer. Still no pit stops from anybody in the top 10 this time around. Nate Siefker, 5.5-second lead on Cody Claiborne. Siefker with another purple lap last time around, 0.7 of a second faster than Claiborne, who, as a reminder, is in the AM division. And he is running in second overall. He has the 4D Raceware top AM record for highest overall finishing position this season. Finished 4th at Jerez. Led quite a few laps in that race. Battled for podium spots all the way up until the pit stop, then rode in 4th after that. Back to Sauvier in his pursuit for Thiago Spencer in 4th. As it's your 3 dry tire runners that are putting the hurt here. And I think part of the equation here might be that the pits aren't actually open to make a pit stop. That will count for your required tire change in the race. So that means that Flaum will have to pit again, despite coming down on the opening lap to put on the dry tires. And Flaum, I thought, just got a call that he did come down pit road. Spencer and Sauvier are coming down. So is Bonomi. So is Titus Sherlock. Immediately, the 4 wet tire runners, and make it 5 with Jeff Groff all down. I think everybody is going to be in. Yep, nobody going another lap here on the wets. These gaps at the front of this field are going to balloon. Sauvier out in front of Thiago Spencer on pit exit. Sherlock out next, then Kevin Bonomi. Jeff Groff will make it out there 5th. In the 8th position, however, 5th off of pit road. we wait to see these lap times as Siefker has 51 seconds back to Soloviev. Total time on pit road is about 31 seconds, the most generous example that I've seen anyway. So if Siefker can just manage this gap, come in and change his tires, if that gap starts to slip below 35, 36 seconds, he should still be all right. Joao Gregorio came out behind Kyle Allen. Slow stop for Joao. It's now 6.5 seconds up to Michael Costello. But again, De Gregorio still in a good position in the championship battle. Titus Sherlock hasn't even ticked the box that he needs to tick by finishing second or first. So I think De Gregorio is still in the right spot here. As Thiago Spencer trying to pull back up here on Kostik Soloviev. 3/4 of a second stand between them. As these laps will not be representative, not only because of cold tires, but because they crossed the line while they were on pit road to start this lap. So we'll go another lap. That is a problem for Dakota DeMade. And he is missing the left rear tire on that one. And that is Sebastian Gianni trying to get onto pit road, and he's ripped off his left rear tire as well. This is into the Casio triangle. All the curbing. And just couldn't get it stopped in time to keep it from rolling into the barrier. And let's see what happens to Sebastian Gianni. Same section of the track, the Casio triangle. And is going to spin out and hit the pit attenuator. Ouch. We'll go back up to Spencer and Soloviev here. Kostik running in fourth. And that gap has pretty much held serve. Still about 51.5 seconds up to Nate Siefker in the lead, and he'll have 2 more drivers to pass. If he does have the pace, and he won't if he does that. Oh my goodness, what a save. As Kostik just bounced all the way up in the air. And that cost Thiago Spencer some time as well. Ay caramba. Lap times coming in now for Soloviev for Thiago Spencer last time around. That was a 1:40.45 for Kostik, so that's still a little bit off the pace that Siefker is running. Titus Sherlock with the purple lap, 1:39.64. But he has 55 seconds up to the race leader. Trying to work net timing into this with your top 3, making the right strategy call to get themselves at the front of this field. Starting on the dry tire, the track crossed over immediately, and all the wet tire runners were stuck until the pits opened. It's gotten Nate Siefker a ginormous lead. 8 seconds back to Cody Claiborne. Zach Flaum in third. And then behind Flaum, you've got another 31 seconds back to Kostik Soloviev. Oh, that was Thiago Spencer off the road. And he is starting to back up rather quickly here to Titus Sherlock. Sherlock now inside of 2 seconds. Up to Spencer to move into the top 5 if he can get it done. Four drivers out of this race. That does not help Titus Sherlock's cause whatsoever. Peter Donchak, Tanner DeFabis, Ethan Stanley, and Tristan Moss all are parked, and I believe Dakota DeMade and Sebastian Gianni have joined them as well from their crashes a couple laps ago. Kevin Bonomi, riding behind Titus Sherlock here, just clocked the purple lap, 1:39.28. And that is about 0.7 of a second quicker than what the race leader is running. So these drivers now starting to claw back a little bit of time on Siefker here with 30 minutes left to go. But only a little chunk here and a chunk there. Siefker's still doing a great job at the front of the field. They ran a 1:40.01 last time around. It's still a very good lap. Only battles really for position is this train behind Kyle Allen here. Jeremy Carter, Byron Daly, Tommy Reval. Since this is the last GoSquadra Formula Super Series race on turn 200, we'll try and give everybody a little bit of airtime here this evening. Here's Reval. Byron Daly back here in 14th. Remember, he won the feature here back in season number 1. But he's applying the pressure here to Jeremy Carter. And that is Kyle Allen heading up the train. Allen running in 12th. Christian Jasper, one of the OGs here on the channel, running in P11. Then your Season 1 Series champion, current points leader as it stands, Juan de Gregorio, in the 10th spot, 7 seconds behind Michael Costello. And all things are looking up Schwa right now. Here is Costello in 9th. Jeff Groff, not to be partisan, but one of the favorites here. Anytime we get FRS action on the channel. One of the original Thunderdome drivers as well. He's here in 8th. There's Kevin Bonomi, champion of the series in the SRL Sports Car Championship. Multi-time podium finisher here on Monday nights. Riding in 7th. Titus Sherlock, the reigning series champion. All indications are pointing to him giving up that crown here, but it's going to be close. Sherlock, after reeling in Thiago Spencer, has dropped back about 2.5 seconds behind. Here is Thiago. I don't know if we'll do a year-end top 20 video, but if we do, his opening feature lap from last week will definitely be in the top 20, probably in the top 5 as things stand right now. It was remarkable. I wish he could have gotten a finish to boot with that. Here's Kostik Sowovier. He's been so frustrated by how he's been raced this season and the results that have come with his outstanding pace. He's trying to hang on to 4th here. As Thiago Spencer is giving him all he's got. A role reversal from early in this race. Spencer trying to get clear the long way around. Oh, and some contact there. And Sowovier right on cue with contact will drop back to 5th. Spencer up to 4th. We're going to skip Zach Flaum for now. We'll go up to Cody Claiborne, another OG of the channel with the Daredevil series. Love seeing him run in P2 here. And Nate Siefker, likewise. Daredevil OG. Certainly a favorite of Matt and I. And one of the only Turn 200 drivers that I've met in real life thus far. The happy Knoxville Nationals week to those who celebrate. Oski's Nate Siefker being one of them. And Zach Flaum, the reason that we're all here, not only on the channel, but, here on the channel, rather. The GoSquadra Formula Super Series. On the track as well. He runs a tight ship here. With the Formula Racing Series, another favorite of ours. Always great. It was helping me when I was ADHDing about the drop week points earlier this evening. Sometimes you need your hand held a little bit. But, Zach is definitely the one to do that. Greatly appreciate all the efforts that he puts in with this series and with all the series in the Formula Racing Series group. His efforts are not unnoticed. We greatly appreciate Zach Flaum. And what a way it would be to cap off his time here with the Formula Super Series on turn 200. If he could pull off a podium finish. He currently runs in third. That gap is 25 seconds. Back to Thiago Spencer. That's the good news. That's a whole chunk of change. The bad news is that Spencer just clocked the purple lap at a 1:38.6. And that is exactly 1 second quicker than what Nate Siefker just ran on the pole. Remember the net time we were talking about here with Siefker, Claiborne, and Flaum presumably having to make another pit stop here, even with the wet conditions start. Obviously, everybody's on the dry tire now, but Siefker, Claiborne, and technically Zach Flaum started on the dry tire. They will have to come back in, or have to come in, rather, and change, even though they started on the dry. Flaum ducked in on lap 1. That does not count towards his official pit stop, however. So he'll have to come in and change tires again. It was a great snipe, though, to get himself into this position. Now, talking about the net time loss for pit road, we saw about 30 to 32 seconds was the window there. So that puts Siefker ahead of the window right now. Cody Claiborne is awfully close to the window here in second to be able to maintain his position. And Zach Flaum, as it stands, looking like he would drop down to 7th with a well-executed pit stop. So he is starting to give up a little bit of time here with 25 minutes left to go. If you're hanging out with us here this evening, drop us a chat. Awful lonely up here in the booth without Jeff Mathis or Gavin Sanders. Appreciate their color commentary throughout the course of the season. Johnny Gregorio looking a little bit further back right now. Still running in 10th. Looking at the lap times, though, he's started to pull back up on Michael Costello. That gap was 7.5 seconds at its biggest, and now it is down to 4 seconds. So Di Gregorio with work still to do. These sector times are continuing to be promising here. Spencer, another purple lap, 1:38.12. 1.2 seconds quicker than what Nate Siefker just turned, and Siefker's lap was a personal best, 1:39.3. Spencer trying to maintain his advantage over Kostik Solovier right now. Kostik 1.3 seconds back. Di Gregorio making up time hand over fist here on Costello. So a couple of off tracks have been noted for Costello here. Go on board with the Season 1 champion. Looking to take his second crown here this evening, and he's in a great position to do so. Costello now inside of 2 seconds ahead of Di Gregorio, and honestly, these two are about the closest two for position on track. There are a couple other battles that are close to the 2 second marker, mainly Spencer and Soloviev, but that this is it basically, inside of 2 seconds. Very dynamic race indeed. Started with lightly wet conditions, all but 2 drivers starting on the wet tire, and it became quickly apparent that the dry tire was the one to start on, and the wet tire runners were stuck. It was netted Siefer and Claiborne a huge advantage. Oh, and an issue for Zach Flaum from third. Oh, man. And I can't tell if this is a blink or if... Yep, he is back. Okay, so that was just a little internet blink there, but the crash was real. Flaum is still in third, but he has Thiago Spencer approaching rapidly. Just dipping the right side tires in the grass there. Drop the wheels, and that will bring the 20 car around. 19 minutes to go. We'll jump back to Costello and Di Gregorio now. Joao is inside of a second. This Costello, man, just looks like he's struggling with the handling of this car right now. Flaum now inside of 2 seconds. Back to Spencer. We'll keep an eye on that as Spencer looking to move back up onto the podium. And a little internet blink there for Flaum. He did take the position momentarily, but now we'll jump back to Costello and Di Gregorio, as these two have been joined at the hip here this race. And with the way that the drop weeks work here, anything from 9th on up for Di Gregorio in this finishing order will add to the total. Again, Ty Sherlock already just needs to finish in second to have any sort of chance to overtake Di Gregorio in the point standings. So Di Gregorio can climb to 8th or 7th. It really is going to ice this championship for good. And I believe Cody Claiborne already needed to be out of this race for Kyle Allen to have any sort of shot. Claiborne is looking to finish on the overall podium, just as Di Gregorio is looking to finish ahead of Michael Costello. Here he goes into the triangle. Spencer is going to have a go here on Flaum momentarily. That is the look of that battle. We'll jump back again to Di Gregorio and Costello. Wow, from paint to paint there. But Di Gregorio not going to be able to find the move yet. Spencer pulling out to the right, headed to the hairpin. As Flaum reappears inside of Thiago Spencer, and this is bringing Kostik Soloviev back into the mix now as well. This is good news for Nate Siefker in particular because the time bleeding has stopped with Spencer and Sawovier parked behind Zach Flaum here. Siefker's been able to open this gap back up to 45 seconds. With still Cody Claiborne to go if this charge continues for Spencer and Flaum. Now that is right about the time loss window for Spencer, who is now up to third, or rather for Claiborne. About 30 to 32 seconds on their pit stop. And now here's Sawovier. Through on Flaum. Flaum back to fifth. Spencer onto the podium, but now Kostic is right back in the fold here. Around 130R. De Gregorio again looking to get through on Costello into the triangle. Hopping over the curb there was Costello. Oh, good drive off for Michael Costello there. Schwal spun the tires just a bit. Schwal off into the grass there. Passing proving to be difficult here. Into Spoon Curve. Shaw has to roll out of it again. Zach Flaum is down pit road. It's Costello swiping across the nose there. Using all the curbing into the KCO triangle. And Zach Flaum making it 3 wide there. Flaum on the fresh tires will come out right behind De Gregorio. Be feeling the pain for a couple laps, though. May not factor into this battle after all, as that will promote now De Gregorio into the green here, up to 9th. After a pit lane start, made up a bunch of spots on the first lap and really has not been able to progress any further than Michael Costello, who I would imagine is playing some extra defense here. As problems for Kostic Sawovier, he has spun, and Titus Sherlock is up to 4th. Back to De Gregorio. With Sherlock inching closer and closer to this podium. You need a little bit more insurance, I would imagine, if you're De Gregorio in this position, as Costello is so loose. And Shaw is not able to capitalize. I'm also showing total time on pit road for Zach Flaum was only 23 seconds. Not sure how that could be, but if that is the case, then that still leaves some breathing room here for Cody Claiborne to try and get back out ahead of Thiago Spencer and Titus Sherlock. And that definitely gives plenty of breathing room to Nate Siefker, who is still 42 seconds ahead of Sherlock, or of Titus Thiago Spencer. Goodness gracious. Let's see what happened to Kostick here. Onto the inside curbing there, which I would imagine has not gotten much use, even as this track has dried out. And that will bring him right around. Inside of 10 minutes to go. Final 10 minutes of racing in the GoSquadra from the Super Series here on Turn 200. Michael Costello and Joao de Gregorio are down pit road. Very interesting. Just double checking to make sure. No damage. So may in fact be required to make another pit stop here, but De Gregorio is taking a long time, as Nate Siefker now will pit from the lead. At 20 seconds on pit road for Costello versus 33 for De Gregorio. Not sure what the difference was there. You can't refuel these cars, so they weren't waiting on fuel. As Siefker is off pit road, Cody Claiborne is on. Total time for Siefker on pit road, 28 seconds. See if Claiborne can come out ahead of Thiago Spencer. Not looking too terribly likely, as Spencer will sweep around and move into second. Claiborne is back to third. Well, this is quite the conundrum now for Joao de Gregorio, back to 15th. He'll have to rely on his drop now, and it tightens up a little bit, if things stand the way they are anyways. Certainly you've been hearing me say all evening that it's looking safe. Things are definitely looking good for Nate Siefker at the front of this field. 13-second advantage right now. Back to Spencer. Claiborne in third. Sherlock 2.7 seconds behind Claiborne to try and move up onto the podium. Again, Sherlock needs to finish at least second to have a shot. At least by our calculations. Only battle for position right now, Kyle Allen, Jeremy Carter, running 13th and 12th respectively. Allen will be looking good to finish runner-up in the 40 Racewear Top AM standings. As there is Titus Sherlock looming in the background for Cody Claiborne, who would love to try and hang on to a podium spot. Passing proving difficult. Sherlock now inside of a second. Purple lap for Thiago Spencer last time around. Personal fastest lap for Titus Sherlock there. Here's the move at 130R, and Sherlock takes it. Titus onto the podium. Claiborne, still miles and miles ahead for the top AM honors of the evening, presented by 40 Racewear. Kostik Slavovia just clocked the purple lap, 137.47. That is a big time lap. Nate Siefker with a 10.5 second lead with 3 minutes left to go. The gap is closing. But is it closing enough? There's Thiago Spencer. Let's get back to Slavovia here, who's working on Cody Claiborne for P4. It's not going to mean much, but Joao de Gregorio is catching up to Tommy Raval. We pass for 14th. That won't net Joao any points in the championship, I don't believe. We'll need to get back up to 9th to do that. And that is not looking very likely here. Inside of 2 minutes left to go. Slavovia, 2 laps left, looking to get up to 4th. He's got it. Nervous moments here all through the field. Hoping that the math is mathing for De Gregorio. Hoping that it's not mathing for Titus Sherlock. What might have been if Interlagos went differently for Spencer, Sherlock, and De Gregorio. All caught up in accidents. All with massive points losses last week. Sherlock especially had quite a few instances of just not even making it a few corners into the features, losing tons of points. Hoping that it's not a what might have been situation after it's all said and done here this evening. Nate Siefker, white flag. 8.3 seconds back to Thiago Spencer, who just clocked the purple lap. Oh, and Juan de Gregorio and Tommy Raval have crashed. Again, shouldn't have any championship implications, but it all went awry for De Gregorio after a seemingly unscheduled pit stop, or getting baited into a pit stop by Michael Costello. Either way. Oh, and problems now for Michael Costello. Costello has crashed. My goodness. What a night it'll be here for Nate Siefker if he can hang on to it for another few turns. Through the last curve here on turn 200 of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series, the We Are Gemini Grand Prix of Japan belongs to Nate Siefker in his first GoSquadra Formula Super Series victory. Across the stripe, Siefker goes. Thiago Spencer will take second. And Titus Sherlock, rounding the final turn, will take over the third position as there's problems on the final lap for Kostik Sowovier. Uprooted by Cody Claiborne, who will take fourth. Sowovier now will drop back to sixth as Kevin Minomi will sneak into the top five. And as Sherlock finishes in third, De Gregorio will look to settle for 13th. And we await the official numbers. Despite everything we've said all broadcast long, it could very well be wrong. But De Gregorio will be the last driver running here in the 13th position. Certainly Titus Sherlock did everything that he needed to do here this evening. As we make it official, with De Gregorio across the stripe, and that should free up the session to produce the point standings here momentarily. What a night for Nate Siefker. Almost didn't race tonight. Almost went to the front row challenge at Oskaloosa. I'm glad he didn't, you know? First GoSquadra Formula Super Series victory. He's got a handful of wins on the channel as well, and this will add to the total. With number 6 here on turn 200. And he'll burn it down. Send it home in style. Can't tell you how many times in the Formula Super Series we've left without a burnout. We're not doing that tonight. I think he's fired up. I don't know if you could tell. I was waiting for it. There it goes. That held on a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Let's quickly take a look at the incident here between Cody Claiborne and Kostik Solovier. And Kostik's already around, so Claiborne, making contact there as Kostik pulled back out onto the track. Nowhere for Claiborne to go. So that certainly was not of Cody's doing there. Man, one final bummer for the road. And, boy, we said that Titus Sherlock needed to finish second here to have a shot. And, when I tell you that the difference in the points championship was literally one marker, Titus Sherlock will come up 1 point short of going back-to-back in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. Wow. Let's take a look at the full finishing rundown here after the Enduro here tonight. That we are Gemini Grand Prix of Japan here this evening. After 55 minutes, it will be Nate Siefker with his first GoSquadra Formula Super Series victory. Thiago Spencer in second. Titus Sherlock in third. It will be Cody Claiborne, your 40 Raceware Top Am driver and champion. We'll talk to these four momentarily. As well as, we'll get to him here in a minute, I suppose. Kevin Bonomi in 5th, Kostik Solovier in 6th, Jeff Croft, Zach Flum, Christian Jasper, and Byron Daly, the top 10. 11th for Kyle Allen, it's Jeremy Carter in 12th, Joao de Gregorio. We will talk to him here in just a moment. Michael Costello will finish at 14th, Tommy Reval in 15th, Sebastian Gianni 16th. Dakota DeMay, Peter Donchak, Tanner DeFavis, Ethan Stanley, and Tristan Moss all involved in early accidents. And they will not finish tonight's event. I don't even know where to start. That was a strange conclusion to this race, to say the very least. As, we'll first at least hide the results here. And I guess... yeah. Well, let's start with the driver who will bring it home in the third position here tonight. It is Titus Sherlock, who will round out the season with a podium here with the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. Welcome back. Congrats on a hard-fought podium here this evening.
Yeah, yeah, tough race. Obviously, the tire choice at the start was really important, and we made the wrong choice there. And I also crashed in qualifying, so I only got to qualify 10th. So I didn't make it easy for myself. And I'm hearing that I missed the championship, so I'm not sure about that 100%, but it was close either way. I know obviously Joao didn't have a good result, so it was going to be close, but yeah, it's just it was a pretty fun race though. The transition from dries to wets is always a fun time, and yeah, Thiago was very, very quick this race for sure, so he definitely deserves the P2 as well.
I mean, we saw everybody in the warm-up period there attack the tracks on slicks. I mean, it was really only the Eclipse guys that were actually able to stay out there on the slicks, it looked like. Everybody else crashed immediately and came in and put on the wets. So, I mean, were you expecting the track to transition to the dry so quickly there?
No, I thought it would at least be the kind of 8 to 10 lap window. But yeah, halfway through that, all of a sudden the slick runners were way quicker than us, and of course he got I believe he was about 40 seconds ahead of me at some point, so he was way out there. So that would have ultimately been the race winning strategy. But yeah, I mean, still getting P3 is not a bad result after everything that's happened. So yeah, not too unhappy with it. But if I did miss the championship, that's a bummer. But I'm not so sure yet.
Well, not too sure how many more times our paths are going to cross here. What's on the horizon for you in the sim, out of the sim? I mean, what's the future look like here immediately for Titus Sherlock?
Yeah, for the rest of the year, I'll still be racing in the Formula Regional Americas Championship here in the U.S. Next year, I don't know what I'll be doing yet. There's a couple things that are on the table to be a possibility, but nothing's for sure yet, so I can't say too much. And then, yeah, in the sim, just kind of keep doing what we're doing. We got some fun special events coming up this year, so we'll be kind of turning our attention to those and some other leagues, and then of course the Formula Indy Series when that comes around as well.
Well, I'd imagine they're double and triple checking the championship results to make sure that they are good. If something changes, I guess we'll bring you back up here and change the tone a little bit. But we greatly appreciate the time over the last couple of seasons and bringing the viewership here on the channel as well. And appreciate you putting on a show as well over the last 20 races and the last 2 seasons. So one more time here, let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, the whole Eclipse team for the whole year. We've had unfortunately the championship has just kind of been lost for some bad luck. I've had by far and away the most wins this year. So it's a bummer to miss it by a little bit, but yeah, we've all had a lot of fun in the series, and it's been a lot of hard and fun racing. So shout out to everyone on the grid as well for having some fun races, and of course that's what we all do this for. It's just for fun. So yeah, it's been a great time, and of course all of our partners that we've had that I've been saying all year, everyone that supports Eclipse, thank you. Obviously all the league admins for the whole season, it's been really fun, and of course the broadcast guys as well, thank you. So looking forward to hopefully doing it again in the future.
Absolutely, partner. All the best up and down the roads here for the rest of the year, and hopefully we'll talk to you again someday.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Alrighty. Let's pull up Tiago Spencer. He will come home in the runner-up position here this evening. Great to get to talk to you here one more time on the channel, and congrats on the P2.
Yeah, man. Good evening. Yeah, first thing is I need to thank my wife, because without her I won't be able to be here. I won't be able to practice, and for this one I practice a little bit more. I saw that João was going to start from the pit, so I need to give my best here, and I did it. I mean, it was a good one, a good race, good battles. Not the perfect strategy, but it is what it is. I need to improve my knowledge in that situation, starting in wet or starting in the dry, and need to change to wet. I don't really know exactly at what point we should change tires yet. I always keep waiting for the others, and I always pit 1 lap late. Anyway, so it was a good championship. I had some battle was not that fun like Interlagos last time, but today I had a very good battles, and I'm really happy.
Yeah, certainly you and Kostek there for a while were putting on a really good show at the front of the field, and then all of a sudden the dry tire runners come out of absolutely nowhere and storm away. I mean, that has to be really demoralizing, knowing that you can't come in and make a pit stop yet, and all the drivers on the dry tire are just driving away.
Yeah, they were absolutely flying. And I knew that I need to wait for the end of lap 10 in order to do my pit. Otherwise, I was going to do another one. So, yeah, I mean, this is racing, right? Strategy and things like that make the whole race fun and good for the people to watch. So, yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you for all the organization for this championship. It was a really good one, and I'll be here for the next one.
Well, we're looking forward to that, whenever that may be. Thank you for the time all season. You're a class act. We really appreciate you coming in the booth after these races, and all the best to you and yours. We'll hopefully talk to you again here soon.
Yeah. See you, man.
Let's move up the finishing order by 1, and we'll bring in Nate Siefker as a race winner in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. How about that?
How about that? Oh, that feels good. Yeah, this actually, I mean, it feels better. I mean, yes, winning is awesome, but this is actually pretty sentimental. I mean, this is probably going to be one of the last league races I do before I cross this chapter off of my life with all the injury stuff going back out there later in the month. So I won't talk about that too much. I'll talk about the race. Yeah, that was fun. Coming through the field like that, those first 10 laps, that was the most fun I've had ever. The first 2-3 laps sucked. I thought I made the wrong decision. And Cody Claiborne did the strat. I was in that room, and he did the same strategy as me, and he had more confidence those first 3 laps than I did. I didn't think it was going to work out, and just kept plugging away, and eventually they turned on, and from lap 4 or whatever to the end there to lap 10, I felt like Superman, and just had to push the rest of the way, and I was working backwards off of how much of a gap I had on lap 10, and I thought it was closer than what it was. I was predicting it to be like 5 to 6 seconds when it came out, and it was like 11, 12. So I'm very happy. I'm stoked. I'm absolutely freaking stoked about this. I thought I would be better in this car. A lot of great drivers with this car. So to finally win one of these races is awesome. I'm so freaking happy.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely stormed up through the. You could definitely tell you and Cody were feeling the pain there for the first couple of laps. Made note of that. I mean, especially in practice. I mean, it was almost comical. The first 5 or 6 drivers off of pit road, or not in practice, in the warm up rather, they all hit the track and basically hit a banana peel, and only a couple drivers were able to make it work on the dry. That's why I was so surprised to see it. But I mean, that track ramped up very, very quickly. Were you expecting it to come in as quick as it did?
I thought when I made that decision 15 minutes of grid that I would be in a world of hurt for 5 laps, and then the 5 laps I would catch them and it would be a net even, and I could go longer than them. That's what I thought. But the sun came out, and that sun dried the track way quicker, and that's what got the track to where it was, where I was able to pull that advantage. Shocked, yeah. Very happy it did though. I didn't expect that, but once it clicked, it clicked. It was pretty difficult going offline. I hope you got the move for the lead on the broadcasts on lap 8, because that was probably the scariest and the sketchiest path I've ever had to make around this place. I made a move around the outside before, but that was a whole different level, being on wets and with a guy on dries, or being on dries and them on wets on a slick track. And yeah, that was so sketchy. I'm so surprised that worked out. I really thought I was going to get punted off or slide off the track. I thought something bad was going to happen. I was just waiting for it to happen at some point tonight, where it would just screw up. So, personal note, you get these guys, I used to be the young kid, I've been doing this now for almost 9-10 years. So being 25 and seeing all these younger generations, start to blow you out of the water, it makes you feel old, which is crazy to say as a 26-year-old saying that I'm old. I don't get a chance to talk in these broadcasts very often, so I'm going to ramble a little bit. Sorry.
Go for it.
But, it's awesome that, running P10, it gets old sometimes. And these kids are just so good on these road courses. It's almost painful to try to catch up to them. I was once them being better than everybody else and running second and third every week. And these kids are just destroying me now. So it makes you feel like you got to go outside the box to do this. And with the whole, this was my last race before I go out to Denver for all the court stuff with my accident. So, when I came back, I had the brain injury and it was fog, I had brain fog when I go into the races, and I'd get frustrated so quickly when these happened like this, if I made a small mistake. But tonight, I've noticed over the past couple of months, the brain's gotten stronger and the arm's gotten better. And if this race happened 6 months ago, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have been anywhere close to that brain capacity or the arm. So that alone is a big personal stepping stone for me. It makes me feel a lot better. Getting a little choked up talking about it, which I shouldn't, which is weird. But, very glad to finally win with these cars. And on the season finale too, it's awesome.
Well,
so yeah.
I'm just happy that we finally got a burnout. And not only that, but
nobody's done a burnout?
I don't know. I mean, maybe a handful. Maybe a handful.
I think I did a good one for you at least.
It was not a good one. It was a legendary one. I don't know if we've ever had a burnout that good. It was, you could tell you've been saving that one up for a while. So I'm glad that we got one to send it off the right way here on Turn 200. Let's get some shout outs in for you now. Incredibly happy to have you up here as a race winner at the end of the night here tonight. But let's hear some shout-outs.
I haven't done this all season. I haven't, so I forgot who I need to thank. Want to thank everyone at TWR. Want to thank all the guys that I was winning with tonight. Cody, Zach, Dakota, Byron. Brian wasn't able to make it out tonight, so they were gracious hosts to allow me to not be all by myself. And that honestly needed to happen with the motivation. So I thank you to them. Thank you to League Admin staff. They killed it this year. Really did a great job with things. I'm really excited for the IndyCar season to come out. Really excited for that. Want to thank the TWR group for the support and me through thick and thin. They've always been there for me, and I really appreciate them. Want to thank you for being on the broadcast, for allowing me a platform to watch these back and enjoy them in my free time. Want to thank the Sim Gaming Expo that's going on next month, of course, as well. But just overall, I want to thank everyone for being here. Congrats to Zhao on the championship. I think he did clinch it, if I was told correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So congrats to him. I don't even know who won I think Cody won the AM. So congrats to him as well. Terrible points season for me, but I don't even care anymore because I won tonight. Could care less. So that's all I care about was winning tonight. It was a terrible season overall, but tonight made it worth it. So I don't care. The rest of the season is a wash in my eyes. I basically won the championship in my eyes after tonight.
I agree, partner. This is fantastic. This beats going to Oski. I think you made the right call.
I think so. I thought about that 5 laps to go. I was like, I could be there, but this is way funner. I legitimately thought that. So I'm really happy that this shook out the way it did.
Well, partner, go celebrate. You deserve it. And we'll talk to you again somewhere down the road.
All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Let's talk to your 40 Racewear Top Am of the evening. And not only that, your 40 Racewear Top Am of the season. Cody Claiborne with another outstanding performance here tonight, matching the Jerez overall P4. Quite, as we were talking with Nate there a moment ago, quite the strategy move to get yourself into this position in the first place, and another well-executed night of racing. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it was all Nate with the calls there. He pointed out that iRacing said it was a dry session, so I just went with him, and it paid off.
I mean, it was pretty apparent those first couple of laps. We pointed out a couple of times. I mean, you two were on the struggle bus, I think it was fair to say. But, I mean, once you got past lap 3 or 4, it was apparent you guys were not going to be stopped unless somebody physically impeded you.
Yeah, no, we honestly pretty early on, just on the first 2 laps, we could tell that we were pretty confident that we were going to start. The crossover was going to happen well before the first pit cycle.
And then from there, I would imagine lots of watching the interval back and trying to time out the pit stops with all of that going on. I mean, that's a little bit of a proxy war. That's always fun at the front of the field in a strategy race.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was eyes forward, just kind of go as fast as long as we were putting in personal bests, like laps, we'd stay out and did that as long as possible. And it worked out pretty well.
Well, you get to do this again, zoom it out and taking the season as a whole. You're going to be the 40 Racewear Top Am. I mean, a fun field, but it always surprises me that you were classified as the amateur anyway, since, I mean, this is your second top 5 of the season, leading laps at Jerez, running on the podium all night tonight. I mean, you did pretty well for yourself, I think it's fair to say, in the AM class this season.
Yeah, I mean, after the start of the season, having a 4th, 6th, and 4th to end it off, I honestly couldn't imagine. I do think now that I've won a championship, I'm going to actually put some time in officials and hopefully get out of that AM rank and be pro next season.
Well, partner, the time is yours here with a championship. Let's get some shout-outs in. Anybody you want to thank or say hi to or anything you want. You got it.
Yeah, shout out to Dakota, my teammate. He's been there through the practices and the races and whatnot. Honestly, all of the Melamo guys, it's a great chat to be in during the races, and the strategies are always good calls. Shout out to my wife and my dad for watching and supporting this, and shout out to all the other AMs for making it a good season.
Absolutely, partner. Thank you for the time, as always. Go celebrate this one. Go rest up. We'll hope to see you in a couple Wednesdays for Daredevil. But regardless, great stuff this season.
Cool. Thank you.
And now we'll bring in Joao de Gregorio, who will be your drivers' champion for the second time in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series by 1 point. Unbelievably tight over the course of the last 10 weeks, but you are the champion driver for the second time. Congratulations.
Hi guys, good night. I was a little shocked to know that I just won the championship because everything like went so wrong today. I had a penalty, I knew, but then I had a very hard fight to Costello. I had 2 broken wings tonight, so for the end of the race, I thought that all was lost. I had some math, but I think the dropped week just got it different than I calculated. But it's like the most anticlimax racing for a championship. Everything went so wrong today. I was fast. I almost hit the pole, but everything like did so wrong today that it's like I don't know how to feel. I'm happy because 2 times Formula Super Series championship, but today was very, very, very hard.
Certainly, this was a pretty tough day, but I will say, I mean, there's no doubt that you, Tiago Spencer, Titus Sherlock, Michael Costello, all are the among, if not the 4 fastest drivers. But certainly, I mean, so much contact amongst yourselves, amongst other drivers. I mean, just there was so much bad luck to go around this season. It's seemingly, it's kind of fitting that it came down to another race full of bad luck for you.
Yeah, I think this season went very good before the break. I could manage to avoid the crashes and everything before the break. But then after the break, everything started to fall apart, Just Interlagos that was very good before the rain. And Jerez that I won. Jerez. It was like since long time no see that I won a feature race. But I think that the secret is like keeping on the top 5 every time and keep on the podiums if you can, because you're not going to win a lot. If you like win the both races, the next race it's like certainly a crash, So you have to just look out for the crashes and everything start to go in your favor. Man, I don't know what to say, because even I was a little impressed to won by 1 point. Season had a lot of ups and downs, like you said. I think the part that I enjoyed the most was the race at Portland. I liked the track, and it was very fun to race against Eclipse there, because guys race there on real life. Interlagos, because it is my hometown. I love the track so much. Jerez, that went well. I don't know how. And am I missing something? Oh, and we had like a very, very, very good race at Road America, the other endurance. It was a very, very good race. I was P2. Thiago won the race, but the pace was there. The pace of everyone, every driver was there. And man, I just want to say thank you to Ignis Racing Team, to Simo Parts, to Race Engineer Brazil. That guy just won the IMSA GTD M with Triarci. He is the engineer of the Triarci Competizione. So congratulations, man. You deserve that win. To HH Timing. And I think let's hope we can have another season, and let's continue together.
I want to say thank you very much for the time after every race that we've gotten to talk to you. We greatly appreciate it. You are a class act. Really love having you up here in the booth and dissecting these races whenever we get the chance to talk to you. And very proud to have you as a two-time champion now on our channel. Greatly appreciate everything that you do. And we'll hope to talk to you again here soon. But in the meantime, go celebrate a hard-fought championship here this season. And we'll hope to talk to you again sometime down the road.
Thank you, man. See ya.
And to close out the interview train here, because we've already done more interviews here tonight than we normally do. I think about double the number. But let's talk to Zach Flaum, who will finish in 8th here tonight as a competitor, but also the league admin and the boss man around here. And, you got your flowers from a lot of the drivers up here in the booth after the end of this one. It's been a great season of Formula Super Series racing here on Turn 200. I know you want to clarify a couple of things before we can get to the fun stuff. So 1 point standing between Di Gregorio and Sherlock at the end of this one.
Yeah, one, thank you for all the work you've done throughout the whole season, and I appreciate all the effort that's been put into it. But I do want to just put it out there that there were multiple protests against Joao tonight for as race control, as always, did go through and assess the situations, and after looking through the incidents, they were both both protests were upheld and and Joao will be receiving minor penalties, which will bring him down to, I believe it's 15th in the race tonight. However, Joao's drop weeks included tonight. So he is still the champion based on all points considered. His 2 drop weeks were this week and a week earlier in the season. So everything's final. We've gone through, we've done our due diligence, and I'm just happy that we finished out the season, and I think it was a very competitive, very aggressive season, and I think that's something that we can kind of hang our hats on for the league and for the community as a whole.
Certainly, and I mean, the action, just because it's stopping here on Turn 200 does not mean that even the Formula Super Series might not be done. Certainly, Formula Racing Series always has stuff going on. I mean, talk about what's on the horizon for this entire organization as a whole.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to what we've got coming up next. We've got the Formula Indy Series will be coming back soon. And we don't have our finalized schedule and all the stuff ready to throw it out there yet, but just want everyone to be on the lookout for that. I think our Formula Indy Series and the Formula Super Series, that's like a 1A and 1B series for us. Like they're both our babies and we love them both, and honestly wish we could probably run both of them at the same time, but a tough challenge to do that, so we kind of do the alternating schedule. But yeah, we'll be doing that pretty soon, and then who knows? We've tried some stuff. We're gonna probably keep trying some other stuff. I can't throw anything out there specifically yet, but we've got some hands in some cookie jars, seeing what might work and might play around with some interesting things. Maybe see if we can. I'll just throw off maybe some one-offs here and there just to get some community events or something. But nothing's finalized. We don't have anything completely figured out in the slightest outside of which we will fully announce here pretty soon.
Well, we're looking forward to that. Yeah, thank you for bringing the Formula Super Series to us a couple of years ago. This has been, especially tonight with Nate Siefker winning, I'm a little bit biased towards that one. This one's Gonna be a popular one with Matt and I. But regardless, I mean, every race has been fantastic, and you guys did a fantastic job, especially when some of the chaos broke out, corralling the cattle a little bit and getting everything back on track. It's not an easy thing to do, and you guys did it well. So thank you for bringing it here to Turn 200, and congratulations on another successful season.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. People joked about the stressors of being a league admin before we got into it, and those are real. Those are very real. But I've been super blessed to be able to be a part of this, not only as a competitor initially, but now as kind of I don't want to call myself the head honcho, pretentious and narcissistic, but kind of one of the tips of the spear, I guess. So, yeah, looking forward to it. I've been very appreciative of all of the community that we've got, and I do want to. He was the first one to call the strategy of staying on dries to start, and that's what got him the win. He ran away and then ran far enough away that Tiago couldn't catch up to him. So he did the right play. Congrats to him. I know that's been a long time coming. I'm just very happy for how this league and how the whole Formula Racing Series community has grown and evolved, and we still got some awesome racing night in and night out.
Absolutely, partner. Thank you for the time here this evening before the stream and to close out the stream as well. I guess anything else you want to say? I mean, we've thanked a lot of people here.
I mean, I'm just going to close it out by thanking you and everyone behind the scenes that's made this work. This league wouldn't be what it is without having a great broadcast partner like Turn 200, and I'm happy to have worked with you guys the last 3 seasons, and whenever we get season 4, we'll talk. Okay. We'll talk before then, but we'll definitely talk about season 4.
Well, my door is open for sure, but we'll see what's going on. Regardless, thank you for everything. Greatly appreciate it. And go rest up after a long season, and rest up for as long as you can, because it doesn't sound like you're going to be rested for very long.
Yeah, thankfully I don't have to be at work until 2 o'clock tomorrow, so
nice.
We're good. We got some time.
All righty, partner. Thank you.
Yep.
Well, that's Zach Flaum, and that is goodbye for now for the GoSquadra Formula Super Series here on Turn 200. Thank you to 4D Racewear, and thank you to GoSquadra.com for supporting the GoSquadra Formula Super Series here for the last couple of seasons on Turn 200. Started off unsponsored. 4D Racewear coming on to sponsor the AM Championship at GoSquadra, taking over the title sponsorship in season number 2. Greatly appreciate both of them. Thank you to We Are Gemini for coming on to sponsor the Grand Prix here this evening. Thank you to the entire admin team. Thank you to Zach Flaum. Thank you to Jeff Mathis. Thank you to everybody else that helps make this possible. What we got coming up for you here the rest of this week, rather. The Venom Truck Series kicks off tomorrow night. It's the Rocket Man Memorial 85 from Daytona to kick off the 10th season of the Venom Truck Series, our final Venom Truck Series season here on Turn 200. Tomorrow night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. We'll have the duels and the whole kit and caboodle. It'll be a great time. Wednesday night is championship night again, this time for the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Auto Sport. One championship already decided there. The other one very much up for grabs. Catches from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And Thursday night, we go Super Speedway Racing again for the second time this week. It is the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series at Talladega, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time, the new start time for Max V Trucking on Thursday nights. Thanks to Jeff Mathis for hanging out with us here this evening. Thank you to anybody else that was here just tonight or any time that you caught the Formula Super Series here on Turn 200. We greatly appreciate it. And that's all we got for you. Thank you to the Formula Super Series, the Formula Racing Series for having us. Go subscribe to P1 Broadcasting to keep up with all the news on the Formula Indy Series that will be coming here soon. And until we meet again, that's all we got for you here tonight. I'm Tommy Cook saying so long and congratulations to Nate Siefker on a long-awaited first career Formula Super Series victory. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.